A reaction to Liverpool nil, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Second defeat for Arne Slot, and it's 4:30 in the night, and watching that game just feels painful. I have a subscription of fan code for the entire Carabao Cup, and I was thinking that it's worth the money that Liverpool have reached this far in the competition, and yeah, after watching that game, it was such a it was not a bad game to watch, but the quality of football was so poor. I don't know if it was, maybe it was because of the rain, or maybe the surface was very slippery. And yeah, both the teams were really poor today. On another day, this could have been a very interesting, high scoring game, but somehow, you know as soon as the teams reached the final third, the passes were just not there for either of the two teams. And did Tottenham deserve to win that game? No, I don't think they did. Did Liverpool deserve to win that game? No. I think this is one of the games where both the teams. It's difficult to say that. Both the teams probably deserve to lose, or at least not win. Um, Late controversy. Something happens in that ground all the time. Before, I remember 2 or 3 seasons back, Harry Kane had a 100% sure shot red card tackle on Andy Robertson, and it was given as a yellow card. And then later in the game, Robertson got sent off for something much less serious. So that is almost an action replay of that today. Last year, of course, it peaked with that check complete goal from Darren England. Uh, and then, last season, of course, there were a couple of red cards as well, which at least, the Jota one was very controversial. So the league performance this season, I think it was a convenient win for Liverpool. But again, we go back there for the cup and we see this happening again. It was actually quite funny, it should have hurt. If it was in the Premier League, I think it would have hurt a lot more, and it would have probably warranted a lot more severe reaction from the fans, from the players. It's a cup, and it's okay. I don't even mind if we lose the semi-final. If that would mean, that, of course, that wouldn't mean that I mean the results are not dependent on each other, but it's the least important among the four competitions. So uh, it's quite funny. I think what happened there was Stuart Atwell. I think the referee, he tried to uh, not make a controversy out of it by not, you know bringing out that second yellow card. What was, of course, Bugwall, the first tackle was not a yellow card, but a lot of, I've already seen on Twitter some Arsenal fans pointing how the first one was not a yellow card, so the second one is fine if they don't give it. But the thing is, the referee gave a yellow card for the first one, and the player knows that he's on a yellow card, so you cannot go and make a tackle like that in that situation. It was just stupid. And he's a very young player, probably he doesn't have that experience. He lost his mind and made that rash tackle, and ended up, you know should have ended up costing his side, at least going down to the last 10 minutes or so, for 10 minutes. And the irony is that the referee tried to take controversy out of that game, and he invited that. Right? It's probably not going to get talked about a lot if, it ends 0-0. People would have forgotten. It's a forgettable game. Who cares if it's 10 against 11 for last 10 minutes? But what happens is that immediately after that, that is the instant calm, and it made me laugh, because even when it happened against the club that I support, instantly what happens is that exact same player goes and score. And even more funny thing was that, it was Simicas who received that tackle, and he was receiving treatment, so he had to go out, and he couldn't come back. And utilizing that space, that left back area, utilizing that space, Bugwal scores. What can be more ironical than that? If it happened to, I would have found it absolutely hilarious if that had happened to Arsenal, and the Twitter would have been absolute fire right now Arsenal fan TV would have been. I mean that this is probably the only trophy that they have a realistic chance of winning. So, but still, it's at the end of the day, no one wants to lose, and it's a second defeat under Arne Slot. As kind of hoping that we don't lose before we face Nottingham Forest, because then he would be extra charged up, because that would be the only opposition that he had lost against. And now we have two targets. Slot has to look after Tottenham Hotspur when they come back and face us again in, I think, the matches in a month or so. So there's a long time for that. No need to think about that. Let's see what happens. I mean, 1-0, 0-0. I don't think it doesn't matter a lot when you're playing at Anfield. And yeah, I mean, so yeah, there is no need to overreact on this. I think it's fine. We lose some games here and there, and uh, in the weekend we have a game against Accrington Stanley in FA Cup. I think they play in third division, and they're not doing that well in third division either. So it should be an easy game, especially at Anfield. Uh, and yeah, hopefully we win that. And we need some momentum. More important than winning that game, I think, is resting some of the key players before we go and face Nottingham Forest next week.